Hi, this is Lucy and welcome to the Naturhaus. This build is a modern house inside a greenhouse. It's based on a Swedish design concept. You do not need catwalks to build this. You will, however, need to be able to destroy items in your camp. If this is something that you are interested in, please stay tuned. So the original concept for this house was that I was actually just going to live in a greenhouse. And I came up with a few tricks and I just wasn't 100% happy with it. About a year ago, 18 months ago, I saw a documentary about a Swedish family that had built their house inside a greenhouse. Sweden being most of the year quite cold, they were pretty much able to live self-sufficiently in this house. They were growing their own food, they had their own sewage and water, so I kind of thought, well, maybe I will build a house inside my greenhouse. So this is the outside. I mean, you might just want to build the greenhouse, you might just want to build the house. It's completely up to you. I do not mind. This is Max. Kind of struggled with the door for here. With a lot of build sets that we get, they have a very strong design element, and then we have to try and match a door to them. There is no door that goes with this greenhouse set. This is the Rustic greenhouse. You can see that there's quite a lot of grass in here. I kind of regret making the foundations so low because these are actually the grass roofs. And I think when I rebuild this that I will make the foundations a bit higher so I can get the roofs a bit lower, but I just wanted to go for this kind of wild effect, so I guess that I've achieved that. We do have crops on all of the corners. I have a lot of resources as well. I have honey, waste acid, I have the apothecary. We have a lot of plants. At the back we have our workshop. I even managed to put out my brewing station. I was actually quite tempted to sort of make this more brewing based or food based, and put my workshop in my shelter, but I always say that I like to have a workshop. It's an absolute pain if it's in a shelter and you're rushing to get to an event and you have to change your build. Although now on one of my tents I actually have a build changer. I have the punch card machine. So it's always an option. More crops. Put some of these. I'm assuming, are they actually flowers or fruits? I can't quite tell, to be honest. Not sure they're edible. We have chickens. We have a well. Do have an upstairs. This is a legally placed ladder, so you could, if you wanted, put upper floors. I might do that. I'm still not 100% sure. The trouble is that if you block this off, it really blocks the light down below. So we have this upstairs balcony roof garden. I have another cooker here and ukulele, and we even have a hidden bed. Yes, this is a tree. So yeah, this is the house. It's a bit difficult to see. It's not particularly complicated. If you have built with slants before, you will know that on the ground floor these will not go on these. You have to have a wall underneath them. Well, it's actually quite easy to get around that. You just need to destroy the top wall arches and remove the foundations before placing your slants. This is the house. Oh, there's a telescope on the roof, by the way. I thought I'd make use of all the glass in the greenhouse. I've gone for kind of a modern vibe. I don't often use this build set. I kind of find it slightly annoying where the inconsistencies with certain pieces, but I thought it was appropriate for this build. If you don't have this, this is the Ranch House wall set. I believe there are a couple of, at least one other reskin. I think there's a schoolhouse set is a reskin of this. It is very small, but I think I got everything in here. Obviously I used these modular sofas and I made a bed using the modular sofas. I like it, I'm just not 100%. There are coffee tables under there. You can't merge these modular sofas, so I kind of did a workaround. It's mattresses and sleeping bags. I really like how the kitchen turned out. This is just the white set with these Whitesprings counters surrounding it. There's a bit of jiggery pokery here to get those curves. It's just to block off the ends, really. My chickens are in fine fettle. Bathroom, I actually used the shower. This is what I mean about this set. You have the option to have a plain wall, but you can't do that with the half wall, and I really wanted the round window. So I don't know, could argue it's a shelf. Maybe. I pushed the shower slightly into the walls so that didn't see the tiles, but it's not mandatory. Don't think it would necessarily look wrong. Toilet roll holder. So yes, I have not talked about the elephant in the room or the tree. I've kind of agonised over this. I like the way it looks above. Although I did show this camp to a friend and he didn't notice that there was a tree in the living area. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I think it looks better with it than without it personally. But it is entirely up to you. Anyway, I will show you how I built it. So we're going to start with some foundations. Someone recently said that, oh my god, at least you didn't build at Newgard. It's the most boring place in the world and blah blah blah. Why do you build there? I did point out that I hadn't actually built for about 10 camps, but if I'm building something that requires a flat surface, then I do it here. I don't like building on the Whitesprings golf course. Mainly because I have PTSD from being early on in the game, building a house down there which used a lot of resources for me, and then getting the whole thing destroyed by a scorch beast. And not being able to repair it. So, yeah. Anyway, you do not have to build this here. This is a demonstration. I am not here to show you how to find camp spots. That's up to you. If you want me to do a video on my favourite camp spots, then let me know. Right. Foundations. I tend to, if I'm building here, because I like to build with road frontage if I can, I usually build in line with the road. So that is the front step. I am doing the foundations a little bit higher than I did before so that I can get the roofs, the grass roofs, a bit lower. So the entire build is 5 wide and 4 deep. If you want to add confetti, do, but I kind of feel it's redundant in this build because you're going to be having plants poking up through the ground anyway. But I mean, if you want a clean build, if you want it clean so that it's just the faux grass, then by all means do that. So that is the entire build. The interior house is 2x3. I think I did actually put a little bit of confetti under here. I've got a bit showing up there, I'm not going to worry about it. So that is the house. While we have these foundations out, I am going to lower one for the as low as I can go. So that I can add the roofs. All you need is a half wall. Then a flat roof here, so you can attach a flat roof at the back. If you're over two foundations, you can actually just reverse the wall. Take that one off, add a sloped one. Now when you lower this down, that grass is a little bit lower, so it's up to you. If you want to take these out, honestly, you can go in and build camera mode. The easiest thing to do is to just move the foundation out of the way. So we'll leave that there for a second. The first thing I am going to do is build the house. So we're going to start with this wall. Before we add the slants, because I had a wall above it, if you've ever worked with slants, this slant here, you cannot put a wall on top of it, even though it's flat. You can't put a half wall on top of that. If you're using floors instead of roofs upstairs, the upper floors, you don't have to do this. But if you're going to do it the way I did it, so the first thing we're going to do is add a couple of doorways here. It doesn't matter what they are. If you have anything in your inventory, just use that. Then add 2 of these greenhouse walls like this. Destroy the greenhouse roof and you should be able to remove the walls underneath, so they're floating. We're going to put a couple of brick top wall arches. Now I don't know if this works with other top wall arches. I always use the brick because of the way it breaks. And everybody should have it. If you're building something like this, you should have the in-game brick set. We now need to remove the foundations surrounding this brick set. Top wall arch that we put on, like so, so it's floating. We can repair it and then add our slants. We can put the floors back. If you don't believe me, I will quickly show you. If you put this on a foundation and try to add a slant, a full slant like this, it will not go on. It will not go on, believe me. However, if you put it on a wall, and then it will go on. I honestly do not know why they did that, and the way around it is to place these and break them so that and take the foundations out so that they're floating. The game just automatically assumes, presumably, that there's another wall underneath it. I can't do Bethesda logic, so don't ask me. Right. May as well finish off the rest of the house. It's quite straightforward. Doorway. These have different interiors. If you want the plain, I think I used the wood actually for this part. I used 2 half walls here so that I could get that round window in the bathroom. It's not mandatory because these are quite high. If you just wanted to put a full wall and one of those windows in, I'm sure it would be fine. I'm not going to complain. Like that. I did double wall the bathroom. I'm not sure if you can double wall this set. I tend to use the barn because it just works so well and it's so reliable. So that is pretty much the house done. We need to obviously add a few more bits. We have this area was raised. I put those round windows in here and one in the bathroom. I did put glass half walls up here. Like so. And I put glass roofs on here to create a sort of skylight. So that's that, and we can put the rest of these roofs on here. And we can put these glass half walls up here. You can repair these. That's for the terrace. Once you have these roofs on, you should be able to just take these out because the roofs are supporting this. And we can swap these out to the ranch house. I can never remember the names of stuff. For those of you who have played since the beginning, you will know. It seems unbelievable now. We had about 8 or 10 build sets in the game before they actually gave them names. They were all just called Wall. It was really difficult to find stuff. So we can put a staircase in. Goes there, and you can put upper floors if you want. As I said, I used the roofs, these pavilion roofs, just so you get more light. If you don't like walking over it, I mean, at one point I did actually change these to the same roof, so you don't get that weird sensation walking over it. I mean, it was mainly to hang stuff off, really, rather than to walk on. I put the terrace on the roof on later on. So now we have to build the greenhouse. And it's pretty straightforward. We can have a go at placing these. I mean, this, I used the Astroturf. There is also there's a green carpet that I sometimes use for grass. It depends what you want to do. It's completely up to you. I did not do the workshop with the Astroturf. I've just realised actually. I did put crop plots on the corners, but for now we'll do this. Right, so one of the things I did find out, because I redid this a couple of times, is that if you take this out, this foundation out, and add your grass, I was able to just get the foundation straight over the top. So if you're worried about the direction or anything else, you can simply do it like this. I mean, in theory, they will just snap on through the foundations, but maybe not. So if you're happy with that height, then obviously do this to get your grass if you want it, not mandatory. think the staircase is causing a problem actually. Because these are roofs, you don't have to worry about it. If you use upper floors, you could always put another staircase down somewhere else. Temporarily. Right, the grass is done. Now, these I made crop plots. You can have more if you want. I mean, it's completely up to you. Need to take this one up. If you need to remove one of these, because they are upright ones that have been flattened, you need to put them back into the upright position before you can remove them. There we go, that's that. Greenhouse. Start with a door. Make sure, because we're going over 2 foundations, that it's attached to the inside one. You'll soon know when you put the windows in. Quite often with these, because I just put them all in with no windows and then I go around and open which windows I want. Just it's easier than having to keep changing them. So these rustic greenhouse walls all the way around. Obviously you could use the other glass set if you want. Then half walls all the way around. Right, roofs. We need the corner roof. This set comes with some pieces curved, so grab a corner but get the rounded corner. I had some problems getting some of these on. I'll show you when we get to the top part. I tend to find it easier to put the corners on first. Right. So be careful if you have roofs underneath, it sometimes doesn't like it. It's being a pain. Because these are roofs and they're attached to different things, you can just take individual ones off. Could probably have done that later, but then I think we have the same problem the other way. Do the curved one. These can be a bit fiddly to get on, I don't know why. Again, I think, right, we'll have to do this afterwards. I think it's being a pain with the roofs. So you have the roofs like that, you have a big gap, and what we're going to do with that is we are going to put half walls all the way around, like so. Now you will notice, or I certainly noticed, if you look closely, there is a gap. I don't know why there's a gap, but c'est la vie. Oh, that's Bethesda. Right, I had a problem getting roofs on here. And the way I got round this was to use a different roof set. I used the green. I honestly don't know why those roofs would not go on here. So I used the green set and then I just swapped it. I'm probably going to run out of budget again. Swapped it to the glass. So just be careful and make sure that you're using the curved pieces. even see. There we go. That's a curved one. Yep. It's also getting dark. So that is pretty much most of the building done. So, finishing up, we can turn these into ranch house walls and door. I mean, you don't have to. For wallpaper, I used the Modern House wallpaper. Pretty much everywhere. Not mandatory. It never is. I didn't actually put the tree in. If you want the tree in, I put it between these two foundations. I'll quickly show you. We might have to take the roof off. I think I used the summer elm tree. Unfortunately, the game today seems to have pretty much eaten half of my stored items. That looks about right. Might want to rotate it however you want it. Then all you need to do is destroy it, and you can put your foundations and your roofs back. I quite often lose turrets when I store a camp, but I seem to have lost quite a lot of stuff today, and I don't know why. Can be quite tricky to... Come on, go in. Repair the tree. You have your very bushy patio roof garden. Completely up to you. We need to put this back in. And just for why not, I'm actually going to put upper floors in, but I might try and use the mesh ones. Go on. Have the same effect as the pavilion set with light, but it might be easier to walk on. I was planning originally to put more plants up here, but I ran out of budget. The other thing you could do if you're using upper floors is obviously you could put more crop plots up here. So let's do that. I think I might do this on my my one on adventure actually. I thought it would look wrong, but makes it more accessible for people that do not have the pavilion set. I don't think that looks wrong. And as I said, if you wanted, you could just change some of these up to crop plots. Up to you. I quite like that actually. Right, what else? Round the back, this was the floor I used in here. It's the light wood laminate. I think I used it in the bathroom as well. I don't actually remember. If you want tile, I would suggest maybe the white tile. For the workshop, I used the abandoned mine. If you don't know, I'll tell you, I should tell you this at the beginning. Underneath my videos where it says more ... I have timestamps for everything, and I also list all of the things that I use in the build sets, the doors, everything. So, doors. Still get caught up out by that up and down thing. I don't know why they put it on. Right, for the bathroom I used the Circus trailer door. For the house I used the iron anvil mountain door, and for the outside I think I used the gel cell. You can use whatever you want. It would really be nice to have a door that went with this build set. The straight up glass I don't think matters so much, but this one is so distinctive that I really agonised over what door to put in. This one I think goes that way. I think I used the Whitesprings marble, Whitespring tile, that one, I think. Just put some steps up. And I think that is pretty much it. So, even if you don't like this build, there are bits of it you don't like, hopefully you've learned something. I actually really like how it turned out. You have pretty much everything inside of your contained property. So yeah, the only thing is, from the outside it just looks like a greenhouse. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to sell this thumbnail. Maybe people will just click on it because they want to know what it is. Anyway, I really like the build. I really like the concept as well. I mean, obviously in some parts of the world this wouldn't work. It works in Sweden because it's so cold. Yeah, I like green things. I like environmentally friendly things. So I really like the idea. And I hope you like my interpretation of it. Anyway, if you have any comments or questions, please post them down below. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.